There's a simple quarter out there, struck in 2013 with a small letter P under the word Liberty, that could be worth not 25 cents, not $100, but a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. Yeah, you heard me right. One coin, one quarter, one life-changing opportunity. In today's video, we're diving deep into the incredible story of the 2013 P. Perry's Victory and International Peace Memorial Quarter Dollar. We'll explore why it's skyrocketing in value, what to look for in your own change jar, and how a quiet revolution is happening in the world of coin collectors across America. So grab your old coin jar, settle into your favorite chair, and don't even think about skipping. By the end of this video, you might be staring at $1 million fortune sitting in your kitchen drawer. Before we talk big bucks, let's rewind the clock. In 2013, the United States Mint released a series of quarters as part of the America the Beautiful program. One of these was the Perry's Victory Quarter, commemorating the legendary Battle of Lake Erie and honoring peace between nations. The coin features a tall memorial and two soldiers, one gazing outward, another standing guard. It's a symbol of courage, of vigilance, and of the kind of history most people pass by without a second glance. But here's the thing, some of these coins, especially the ones struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the ones with that little P mark, were different. Subtly, mysteriously, and quite possibly, accidentally different, which brings us to the $1 million question. Not all 2013 Perry's Victory quarters are valuable. The magic is in the mistakes. The rarest, most valuable versions have minting errors, tiny imperfections that make coin collectors' hearts race, double dies, where the design is stamped twice, giving the letters or images a shadowy effect, die cracks, where a break in the die causes raised lines on the coin's surface, off-center strikes, where the design is noticeably out of place, missing clad layers, revealing the copper underneath, and even a ghostly haze caused by improper planchet treatment. Now imagine this. You're at a gas station, and the clerk gives you change. You barely glance at the coins. But in your hand is a 2013 P. Perry's Victory Quarter with a perfect double die, sharp, crisp, and clear. That coin, in pristine uncirculated condition, with the right error, has been valued on the private market for up to $1.7 million. In Ohio, a man in his 60s named Larry had been collecting coins since the 70s. One day, while organizing his collection, he noticed an odd Perry's Victory Quarter with a strange doubling on the words E pluribus unum. He sent it for grading. When it came back, he nearly fainted. MS69 condition. Prominent double die. Private collector offered him $1.2 million on the spot. He didn't just sell a coin that day. He bought freedom. He paid off his mortgage, bought his wife the RV she always wanted, and now spends his days trout fishing in Montana. And here's the twist, his second rare quarter is still in his safe. Here's how you can turn detective and hunt down a millionaire coin in your home. First, look for the P Mint mark on the front, right under "In God We Trust." Next, grab a magnifying glass or even your phone camera zoom. You're looking for a lettering that appears doubled or blurred, especially around the words Perry's Victory, United States of America, and E pluribus unum. Raised lines or bumps across Washington's face or along the edge. Die cracks are common in rare errors. Reddish tones peeking through could mean a missing clad layer. Anything that looks weird or unbalanced is worth a second look. Too perfect, and it's still in shiny, uncirculated condition. It could be a hidden gem. And just before we get to how to sell one for maximum value, let's talk about what not to do. Thousands of people every year lose money on rare coins because they rush, they find what looks like a valuable quarter and post it online, hoping for a quick flip. They get lowballed by resellers who see the goldmine but offer peanuts. Some people even clean their coins, scrubbing them with toothpaste or vinegar, not knowing it destroys the surface and drops the value to pennies. Never sell it without getting it professionally graded by PCGS or NGC. Don't sell to just anyone. The right collector will pay 6 or even 7 figures, but you need to know where to find them. Now let's reveal the golden pathway to cashing in. Get it graded. Submit it to PCGS or NGC. Yes, it takes a few weeks, but it's worth it. Research sales of similar coins. Look at auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stacksbowers. You'll find verified sales of coins just like yours hitting 6 and 7 figures. There are professionals who can help you handle the negotiation, paperwork, and marketing. You don't just want to sell a coin. You want to turn it into a lifestyle. Imagine retiring early, paying off everything, setting your kids or grandkids up for life. That's what this one coin can do, but it all starts with knowing what's in your pocket. Somewhere out there, a 2013 P. Perry's Victory Quarter with a near-flawless error is still floating in circulation. It could be in a vending machine, It could be in your sock drawer. It could be under your car seat or hiding in your grandson's piggy bank. The world of coin collecting is changing. And for everyday Americans between 30 and 70, this isn't just a hobby anymore, it's a second chance. What if I told you that a simple coin in your pocket could be worth more than a brand new Ferrari? Not just any coin, but one that looks like every other quarter you've seen 1,000 times, only this one is different. This one is worth $1.8 million. Stick with me because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes the 2018 P Pictured Rocks quarter so valuable, how to identify it, and maybe, just maybe, you'll realize you've had a treasure sitting unnoticed in your change jar. This whole time. Let's go back for a moment to 2018. The United States Mint released the first quarter in that year's America the Beautiful series. It featured the majestic Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore in Michigan. A stunning coin, sure, but at first glance, just another piece of currency designed for everyday use. What no one expected was what happened next. A few collectors began reporting strange anomalies, slight shifts in the design, unusual die marks, and one particular version of this coin caught fire. You see, the 2018 P Mint Mark quarters were struck in Philadelphia. That mint mark was important. It separated ordinary coins from potentially life-changing ones, but what made this version rare was what happened during the minting process itself. A tiny misalignment. A rare double die error. A surface irregularity on Lady Liberty's robe, combined with a sharp, flawless strike. It was an accident. A freak moment that the mint didn't catch, but collectors did. They became worth more than most people's retirement accounts. Now I know what you're thinking. How in the world does a 25-cent coin become a $1.8 million treasure? Let's start with rarity. There are over 400 million quarters struck every year. Out of those, only a tiny fraction carry minting errors, and an even tinier fraction are preserved in near-perfect condition. It was graded MS68 by PCGS. That's mint state, almost untouched since the day it was struck. No fingerprints, no scratches. Nowhere. Collectors and investors alike crave these near-pristine examples, especially when the coin carries a compelling backstory. And here's the twist: this particular coin wasn't just graded and stored in a vault. It was found by accident by a retired carpenter in rural Ohio who kept it in a shoebox, thinking it was just a nice-looking quarter. More on that man's story in just a minute, but first, let's go deeper into what you need to look for if you're hoping to strike gold with a quarter of your own. Pull out your coin jars, because here's what you need to look for first: the P Mint mark under the word "In God We Trust." That tells us it was minted in Philadelphia. Next, examine the obverse, or front, for a slight doubling of the letters, especially in Liberty and quarter dollar. On the reverse, pay close attention to the rocky shoreline. Some rare versions show a shadowy double impression along the edges of the cliffs. Coins that were circulated, used in stores, rubbed around in pockets, lose value fast. The $1 million versions? They look like they just came off the press. If you think you have something close, don't clean it, let an expert do the evaluating, because here's the wild part: many people have tossed these valuable coins back into circulation unknowingly because they didn't look all that special. Walter had been collecting quarters casually since the 1980s. No gloves, no plastic cases, just a coffee tin in his basement. One morning, sipping his coffee and sorting through change from a gas station run, he noticed something different. A shine, a sharpness, a depth in the design he hadn't seen before. He set it aside, tossed it in with his better-looking coins. Months passed, then his grandson, a young coin enthusiast, visited and asked to look through his collection. Within seconds, the boy froze. "Grandpa," he said, "I think this quarter's rare." One appraisal led to another, then came the grading, then the bidding. Walter paid off his mortgage, bought an RV, took his grandkids across the country. You might not be a coin expert, you might not have a coffee tin full of old quarters in the basement, but chances are, you've got coins lying around. In your glove box, in that old jacket pocket, in the cracks between your sofa cushions. And the truth is, it only takes 1.1 coin, 0.1 glance, 0.1 decision to check instead of spend. That could be the moment everything changes. Financial freedom isn't always found in the stock market or real estate. Sometimes, it's hidden in plain sight. In your palm. In your change tray at the grocery store. Step 1. Grab a magnifying glass or your smartphone camera. Step 2. Check for that 2018 date and the P Mint mark. Step 3. Look for signs of doubling or sharpness in the design. If you spot something, consult a reputable coin grading service. PCGS and NGC are the top dogs. Yes, it costs a little to grade, but if your coin is worth anything close to what Walter's was, that small investment could return millions. Also, consider visiting coin shows, join online forums, learn what separates the common from the exceptional, because once you know what to look for, you'll never look at coins the same way again. The next time someone hands you a quarter, don't just spend it, study it, because hidden within the ordinary might be your shot at an extraordinary life. This has been more than a story about a coin. It's A reminder that opportunities are everywhere, even in your pocket. If this inspired you, drop a comment below and tell us what you found in your collection, and subscribe, because next week, we're diving into a 1967 quarter that's been shocking the coin world with six-figure sales. Have you ever looked at a simple coin and wondered if it could change your life? Most people don't. They see quarters as something to toss into a vending machine, a parking meter, or the tip jar at the local coffee shop. But what if I told you that a single 2020p National Park quarter, yes, the kind you might have jingling around in your junk drawer, could be worth up to $1.9 million? Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what makes this particular quarter so rare, how to identify if you're holding a gold mine, and how one man's curiosity turned pocket change into a multi-million-dollar windfall. It all started in Pennsylvania, not far from where the 2020p quarters were minted. A retired machinist named Charles had just returned from the grocery store and emptied his change onto the kitchen table. Among the coins sat an ordinary-looking quarter. But Charles had an eye for detail. He noticed something off. The coin was shiny but didn't quite match the others. The design seemed just a bit sharper. The color, slightly different, and here's where the story takes a twist. Charles kept the coin instead of spending it. That one decision changed everything. He later discovered that this 2020p National Park quarter was no ordinary coin. It was a rare variety, with a minting error that made it almost one of a kind. That quarter was eventually valued at $1.9 million. The National Park Quarter series began in 2010, part of the America the Beautiful program by the U.S. Mint. It featured designs of iconic parks and national sites from every state and territory. In 2020, the Mint released 5 new designs. But one stood out: Tall Grass Prairie National Preserve, located in Kansas. The design was elegant. A big blue stem and a regal fritillary butterfly, symbolizing the fragile balance of nature. But it wasn't the design alone that sparked interest, it was what happened during the minting process. The Philadelphia Mint, known by the P Mint mark, a small batch of these quarters came out, different due to a rare double die strike. Some coins had slight doubling on the butterfly's wings and lettering, imperfections that would go unnoticed to most. But in the world of coin collectors, this is pure gold, and here's the kicker: most people didn't even realize they had them. Only a handful of these error-struck 2020p Tall Grass Prairie quarters exist. Experts estimate fewer than 20 made it out into circulation before the mistake was caught. The most valuable quarter was found in near-perfect mint state. It showed minimal wear, retained its luster, and the doubling was crisp. With the surge in interest in rare modern coins, collectors are willing to pay eye-watering amounts to complete their sets. And when you combine rarity with historical interest and visual uniqueness, it becomes a bidding war. The record-breaking sale happened at a private auction in late 2024. The winning bid? $1.9 million. Right now, there could be more of these rare 2020p quarters sitting unnoticed in dresser drawers, jars, or even inside your car's cup holder. And believe me, collectors are on the hunt. Coin forums are buzzing. Dealers are scanning their stock. Everyday people, just like Charles, are learning to spot the telltale signs of a valuable coin. Imagine being the next person to find one that you might not even need to search far. You could be just one handful of spare change away from joining the Millionaires Club. The letter P should appear on the obverse side, just next to Washington's ponytail. That indicates it came from the Philadelphia Mint. Check for the Tall Grass Prairie scene, big blue stem and the butterfly. That's your starting point. Now the hard part. Look closely at the wings of the butterfly and the letters E pluribus unum. On the rare variety, you'll notice a subtle doubling effect, almost like a shadow. Use a magnifying glass. If the coin looks sharp, uncirculated, and hasn't been dulled by use, it could fetch a lot more. The top-graded coin sold for $1.9 million because of its pristine condition. Don't clean the coin. Cleaning can damage the surface and destroy its value. Take it to a certified coin dealer or send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. That's exactly what Charles did. And it paid off. This isn't just about a rare coin. It's about attention. Charles paid attention to something most of us overlook. He took a few seconds to be curious. That small act led to a life-changing discovery. In a world where people chase lottery tickets, Charles found his fortune in something he already had right in his hands. Wealth doesn't always come from doing more. Sometimes it comes from seeing more, from noticing the details, from asking questions, or from looking twice at something everyone else ignored. That's the kind of thinking that turns ordinary into extraordinary. There are still mysteries to be uncovered in the most ordinary places. Maybe you're one of the lucky few holding a fortune without even knowing it, whether it's a coin, a family heirloom, or an old collection from your grandfather's drawer. Every item tells a story. The next great coin discovery might have your name on it. Take a look. Be curious. Because sometimes, wealth hides in the smallest places. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share it with a fellow collector, and subscribe for more deep dives into the fascinating world of valuable coins. And didn't even think twice about picking it up? What if I told you that one of those ordinary-looking quarters could be hiding a fortune? This isn't some made-up story or a get-rich-quick scheme. We're talking about a real coin, the 2016 Cumberland Gap quarter. A coin that looks just like every other quarter in your change jar, but one rare version of it has been sold for a jaw-dropping $1.10 million. In today's video, I'm going to take you on a deep dive into the fascinating world of this specific quarter. You'll learn what makes it so valuable, how to spot one, and how you could potentially cash in big if you find one hiding in your house. But this is more than just about coins. It's about that once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that might be sitting right under your nose. So don't blink. Because if you miss even a second, you could miss the detail that turns 25 cents into $1 million payday. In 2016, the U.S. Mint released a beautiful quarter as part of the America the Beautiful series, the Cumberland Gap National Historical Park Quarter. It features a frontiersman looking west with a rifle, symbolic of early American exploration. On the reverse, as usual, you'll find the familiar face of George Washington. Most people assume all these quarters are the same. But they're not. Some carry a secret. A detail, an error, or a variation that turns the ordinary into the extraordinary. The mint mark P under the word "In God We Trust" means it was minted in Philadelphia. And believe it or not, it's that small p combined with something much more subtle that makes this coin one of the most valuable modern quarters in history. But what could possibly make a 2016 coin worth over $1 million? That brings us to the mystery that changed one man's life forever. There was a retired truck driver named Dale. Lived in rural Kentucky. Nothing flashy. No coin collection. No fancy education in numismatics. Just a guy who loved fishing, old westerns, and collecting loose change in a mason jar. One day, Dale was rolling coins to take to the bank, quarters he'd been tossing into the jar for over 5 years. As he spread them across the kitchen table, something caught his eye. It was a 2016 Cumberland Gap quarter, just like any other, except it looked different. Sharper. Glossier. And it had an odd doubling on the word Cumberland. He didn't think much of it until a friend who knew a bit about coins took a closer look and suggested he have it professionally evaluated. That coin sold for $1.1 million at auction in 2023. One man. One quarter. One life forever changed. Keep watching, because up next, I'll show you exactly what to look for. Not all 2016 Cumberland Gap quarters are worth millions. But the ones that are have something in common, a rare combination of errors and pristine condition. First, doubling. Look closely at the words Cumberland Gap. In some rare examples, the letters appear doubled or shadowed. This is called a double die error, and collectors go nuts for it. Second, the strike quality. $1 million coin isn't scratched up and dull. It's shiny, almost proof-like, and has razor-sharp detail. If your coin looks like it just came off the press even after years in circulation, you may have something rare. Third, metal composition. Some rare specimens were struck on the wrong planchet, meaning the coin was minted on a different metal disc, often from an earlier series or even a foreign coin blank. These minting errors make the coin both unique and historic. And this is important, the population count. Only a handful of these $1 million versions exist. That rarity drives the value sky-high. So now you're probably wondering, how do you know if your quarter is the jackpot coin? The answer is coming up, and trust me, you'll want to grab a magnifying glass. Here's your step-by-step checklist for inspecting your 2016 Cumberland Gap quarter. Get proper lighting and a magnifier. You'll need to look at the coin under good light and about 10x magnification to see the tiny details. Examine the words. Focus on Cumberland Gap and first doorway to the west. Look for doubling, distortion, or any signs that the letters are shadowed or outlined. Inspect Washington's face. Look closely at the details in his hair and jawline. If they look extra sharp or unusually bold, you could be holding a high-grade strike. Check the coin's weight. A standard quarter weighs 5.67 grams. If yours weighs more or less, it may have been struck on the wrong planchet, which is extremely rare and valuable. Compare with a regular coin. Sometimes, the differences are so subtle that they only become obvious when you put two coins side by side. There are professional services that can grade and authenticate coins, more on that coming shortly. Even if your coin doesn't sell for $1.1 million, it could still be worth thousands. As of this year, the absolute highest confirmed auction price for the 2016 Cumberland Gap quarter was just over $1.10 million, but other near-pristine versions of the same coin, without the double die or wrong planchet, have still sold for impressive amounts, anywhere from $500 to $15,000, depending on condition. Coins graded MS68 and MS69, meaning nearly flawless, are highly sought after. Some dealers are willing to pay thousands just for high-grade examples, even without major errors. So imagine if you had a coin that combined both rare error and perfect condition? That's when the bidding war begins, and the market for rare quarters isn't slowing down. Collectors, investors, and dealers are all hunting for that one perfect piece. That brings us to the big question. Step 1: Don't clean your coin. It sounds counterintuitive, but cleaning a rare coin can destroy its value. Keep it exactly as you found it. Store it safely. Use a soft cloth or a coin capsule to avoid scratches. Get it graded. Contact professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC. They'll certify your coin's condition, verify any errors, and give you an official grade. Consult a reputable dealer or auction house. Don't just sell it on eBay for $20. Go through professionals who know the true value and can connect you with serious buyers. Be patient. The right buyer might take time to show up, but when they do, it could be life-changing. But before we wrap up, there's one final twist that could change everything. The 2016 Cumberland Gap quarter isn't just a one-off miracle. It's part of a much larger trend. The U.S. Mint has been producing rare errors and oddities for decades, and many of them are still hiding in plain sight. Your change jar. That old drawer. Your glove compartment. Any of these could be holding a coin worth thousands or even millions, and in the next video, I'll reveal 3 more modern quarters you need to check right now, including one that just sold for over $2 million at private auction. So before you spend that change, take a closer look. Because sometimes, the smallest coins carry the biggest surprises, and just like Dale, the man with the mason jar, your lucky break could be sitting in your palm right now. You ever walk past a quarter and think, nah, it's just 25 cents? You'd probably bend down for $1, maybe even 50 cents. But what if I told you that tiny coin sitting in your glove compartment or tossed in an old coffee tin in the garage might just be worth $1.2 million? Yeah, you heard that right. $1.2 million. In today, we're diving into a piece of American change that's anything but ordinary, the 2015 Kisachi $2 coin. A rare, overlooked gem that's turning regular guys into millionaires just by realizing what's already in their pocket. Stick around, because you won't believe what makes this coin so valuable. And by the end of this video, you might be checking your old coin jar with a flashlight and a magnifying glass. The Kisachi National Forest Quarter was released in 2015 as part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, the same program that honored national parks and historic sites in all 50 states and territories. That's 600,000 acres of wild beauty pine forests, red-cockaded woodpeckers, and bayous that go for miles. The coin's reverse side shows a wild turkey in mid-flight. A proud, wing-spread beast right above longleaf pine trees. A beautiful coin. Patriotic. Rugged. But here's where it takes a turn. The Philadelphia Mint, the one with the P Mint mark, struck millions of these quarters. But only a microscopic fraction came off the press with errors. And that's where the story starts to get interesting. Because sometimes, mistakes are worth a fortune. We've all heard stories of someone stumbling across a rare coin in their change, the kind you think only happens to someone else. But the 2015 Kisachi quarter has a secret. Something hidden in plain sight. And it's that secret that sent collectors and dealers into a frenzy. Ever wonder why some coins fetch over $1 million when they were originally worth just a quarter? What causes that price to skyrocket? We're getting into that now, and trust me, what you're about to hear might have you grabbing your reading glasses and heading straight for your sock drawer. Now here's the $1 million mystery. Among the flood of Kisachi quarters minted in Philly, a handful came out wrong. These rare pieces showed double strikes, misalignments, die cracks, off-center images, or even what's called a struck-through error, where foreign material gets in the way during the minting process. These flaws make a coin unique. One of a kind. No other like it in the world. For collectors, that's gold. One particular 2015 Kisachi quarter, featuring a striking die clash and off-center strike, sold for a jaw-dropping $1.2 million in a private auction in early 2024. Certified. Graded. Provenance included. Experts believe more of these rare variants are still out there, unaccounted for. Sitting quietly in private collections, coin jars, dresser drawers, maybe even your pocket. Now, if you've got one of these Kisachi quarters, don't go cashing it in at the gas station. The difference between a 25-cent piece and a $1.2 million treasure? Condition: professional grading is done on a 70-point scale. A coin that's graded MS67 or higher, that's mint state, no scratches, no bag marks, sharp features, can bring in serious money. And here's the thing: a rare error coin in perfect condition? That's like finding a 1969 Dodge Charger in showroom shape with 0 miles on it. Rarity meets preservation. That's where the millions come in as signs of double die errors, especially in the words Kisachi and United States of America. The image doesn't sit perfectly in the middle, strange lines or ghost images from overlapping coin designs, any foreign material impressions, odd textures, scratches, or missing details. Don't clean it. Don't polish it. Don't even breathe on it too hard. Handling it wrong could drop its value faster than a used tire. Instead, send it to a certified grading service. PCGS or NGC are your go-tos. Because we're about to talk about how just one coin can change a man's entire financial future. Take this one guy from Ohio. Retired mechanic. Cleaned out his garage, found an old coffee tin full of quarters. One of them? A 2015 Kisachi with a wild double die error and struck through lint. Sent it in. Got it graded MS67. 2 months later, he had $950,000 wired to his account after a private sale to a collector in California. A Vietnam vet in Florida found his coin mixed in with toll booth change from a road trip. He was just curious. Looked it up, got it graded. His quarter had a minting die gouge never seen before, called the feather slash. That one fetched $1.10 million. These aren't lottery tickets. These are real coins. Real guys. Real money. Coin collecting isn't just a dusty old man's hobby anymore. It's a multi-billion-dollar market fueled by scarcity, nostalgia, and big money investors, and coins like the Kisachi are the new frontier. Because unlike art or real estate, rare coins are portable, liquid, and globally in demand. Some investors are quietly switching out stock portfolios for vaults full of precious metal and rare currency. Right now, there are active bounties from collectors looking for top-grade 2015 Kisachi quarters with unusual errors. Prices starting at 6 figures. That's not fantasy. That's happening right now. First things first. Handle the coin by the edges. Never the face. Store it in a protective sleeve, ideally an acid-free flip or coin capsule. Both sides, and close-ups of any errors. Then, contact a reputable coin dealer or grading service. Stay away from pawn shops or anyone offering you a quick $100. If they're rushing you, it's probably worth more than they're letting on. Get an appraisal. Then shop it around auction houses like Heritage, Stacksbowers, or even private collectors who make offers through numismatic groups. You're not just holding a quarter. You're holding leverage. Take your time. Play it smart. So the next time you're fishing for change at the car wash or emptying the junk drawer before spring cleaning, remember, some coins are more than just coins. The 2015 Kisachi quarter is proof that even the smallest, most overlooked things in life can carry life-changing value. All it takes is the right eyes, and a little bit of luck, and who knows, the next $1 million coin might be sitting in your pocket right now. Subscribe, because we've got more stories like this coming your way. And if you find a Kisachi quarter with an error, drop a comment. You might be the next millionaire we feature. You ever find a coin lying in your glove box or rattling around in your kitchen drawer and think, what if this is worth something? Well, let me tell you a story. One man in Colorado was sorting through an old shoebox of coins he inherited from his grandfather. Dusty, dirty, full of what most would call pocket change. But hidden deep inside that box, beneath some nickels and dimes, was a coin that changed his life forever. It was a 2004 Wisconsin state quarter. And not just any quarter, this one had a tiny, barely noticeable error that made it worth a staggering $1.3 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A quarter, worth over $1 million. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for in your own quarters, because who knows, you might be holding a fortune in your hand without even realizing it. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's start with a bit of context. Because understanding the story behind this coin is just as valuable as the coin itself. 2004 marked the release of the Wisconsin State Quarter as part of the United States Mint's 50 State Quarters program. It was a beautiful coin. One side featured President George Washington, like all Washington quarters, and the reverse honored Wisconsin with its agriculture symbols, a cow, a wheel of cheese, and a single ear of corn. At a glance, it seemed ordinary. But here's where the story takes a turn. Coins minted at the Denver Mint, that's what the D stands for, were struck in the millions. But something strange happened during production. A few of those quarters had an extra leaf on the corn. And not just one type, there were actually two different errors discovered. Collectors today know them as the extra leaf low and extra leaf high varieties. And these tiny details, something that would escape even the sharpest eyes, are the reason why a single quarter can be worth more than a luxury sports car. Let that sink in. One little leaf made a man a millionaire, and we're just getting started. To picture the husk of the corn on the back of the Wisconsin quarter. On a standard quarter, there's one clean leaf curving downward. But on the error coins, there's either an extra leaf that droops lower, almost like it's sagging, that's the extra leaf low, or one that juts out sharply, that's the extra leaf high. Most people wouldn't notice it. But those who do, they might be looking at a small fortune. Some believe it was a mistake during the die polishing process. Others whisper rumors that it was an intentional act, maybe by a rogue mint worker looking to make history. No one knows for sure. And that mystery only adds to the coin's value. Only a limited number of these error quarters made it out into circulation. Most went unnoticed, passed from hand to hand, thrown in vending machines, dropped on sidewalks. When word first broke about the error, collectors rushed to get their hands on one. Prices shot up fast. A few $100. Then a few thousand. And now, high-grade specimens have crossed into 6- and even 7-figure territory, because these aren't just rare, they're part of American numismatic history. A perfect storm of timing, mystery, and scarcity. Today, one near mint 2004 D Wisconsin extra leaf high quarter sold for $1.3 million at private auction. And that wasn't even the rarest known copy. That's more than most people's mortgage. More than a brand new Porsche 911. And definitely more than you'd expect from something that fits in your pocket. But the market isn't cooling down. In fact, it's heating up. More collectors are getting into the game. Baby boomers are passing down collections. And investors are turning to rare coins as an alternative to stocks and crypto. So if you've got one of these in your drawer, or you think you might, don't just let it sit there. Because in the next section, I'll show you exactly what to look for, and how to tell if you're holding a piece of history. First, flip over the coin and look for the corn on the reverse side. You're looking for that extra leaf. The leaf is small. Really small. You might need a magnifying glass. But it'll either be tucked low, close to the bottom of the coin stalk, or pointing out just above the main leaf. If you've got a 2004 Wisconsin quarter with a D mint mark, that's critical, and you see that leaf, don't panic. Don't clean it. Don't scratch it. Don't toss it in a coin jar. And next, check the condition. The cleaner and more untouched your coin is, the higher its value. This is what collectors call mint state or uncirculated. If it looks like it just came out of the roll, that's golden. Then, take it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate the coin, grade it, and certify its value. But here's the cliffhanger. There's another version of this coin that's even rarer, and almost no one talks about it. We'll get to that in just a minute. First, a quick story that'll give you chills. Back in 2019, a retired mechanic in Michigan walked into a local coin shop with a small bag of quarters. He wasn't a collector, just a guy who liked to save change. The shop owner noticed something odd about one of the coins. A tiny leaf that looked out of place. That single quarter, a 2004 D Wisconsin extra leaf high, was later certified and sold at auction for $684,000. And get this, it was graded just slightly under mint condition. The man used the money to pay off his house, buy his dream pickup truck, and still had plenty left over for his grandkids' college. And experts say a true mint condition specimen of the same variety could be worth almost double. That brings us to the hidden legend of this coin. There are rumors in the numismatic world, whispers of a prototype version of the extra leaf quarter. A test piece struck before the error became public. It's never been found. But some believe it's still out there. Maybe tucked away in a forgotten box. Maybe hiding in plain sight at a flea market or garage sale. Collectors and investors alike are on the hunt. Because if found, that coin could shatter all previous records, maybe worth $2 million or more. There's no official record of how many error coins were made. Some say a few thousand, others argue it was just a few hundred. This uncertainty is driving demand. Which means your quarter, if it has that tiny flaw, could be worth even more tomorrow than it is today. First, take a deep breath. Second, protect the coin, slip it into a soft case or coin holder. Third, get it professionally graded. Don't sell it raw. A certified grade can mean the difference between a few $100 and $1 million payday. Fourth, reach out to reputable dealers or auction houses. Heritage auctions, Stacksbauers, or great collections are excellent places to start. Believe that it's possible. Because coins like this have changed lives. They've turned everyday people into millionaires. So the next time you're reaching for change to pay for a coffee, take a second look. You might just be holding a little piece of American treasure, and if you think this is the end of the story, think again, because coming up next, we're diving into another legendary quarter, one that's even rarer and could be worth millions more. Make sure to subscribe, hit that bell, and never miss a